welcome y'all to the show. Welcome. Yeah.
All right, welcome back to KAMMA. My name is Khalil Deal.
I'm Andy O.
And we are KAMMA, about to talk about some early predictions for the UFC Fight Night with Matheus Nicolau versus Alex Perez. This card is obviously not going to be as amazing as the last card. UFC 300 was a blast. But, we're going to enjoy this one. We had a break there, and now we're back. Let's get into it here. Just going to go run through the card quickly. We got Maheshate Hayasayer against Gabriel Benitez, then Ivana Petrovic against Na Liang, James Lontop against Chris Padilla, Caitlin Souza against Marnik Mann, Dontel Mays against Kao Machado, Austin Hubbard against Mikhail Figlak, and Rani Yahya against Victor Henry. Now, there was a replacement fight. James Lontop is now fighting Chris Padilla on short notice. And we will get into it with the first fight here of the card. Maheshate Hayasayer against Gabriel Benitez. Who you got there, Andy O?
Yeah, this fight, I actually, at the beginning, I was going to go with Maheshate. But as time went on, I'm going to be going with Mobley Benitez in this one. I think it's a great spot for a dog here. I think the lines should be a lot closer than they actually are. I think Benitez is going to rebound off his poor performance the last time with a solid veteran performance in this fight here. Frankly, I don't think Maheshate is that good. I think he doesn't have so much power, and he's not going to be going for a lot of takedowns. I don't predict against Benitez here. And that's how Benitez kind of gets tired, is when people start taking him down. He's an older guy and he runs out of energy, but I don't think that's going to happen here. I predict Benitez victory. He always brings it. And we'll see Maheshate down to 9-4, and his record isn't going to look all that good at all. And I highly doubt we're going to see him as this much of a favorite in his next couple fights after this one. Who do you got?
Oh, man. Okay, so you got Benitez in this one, man. Okay.
Yeah, man. Screaming at me to take Benitez, man.
I do agree that Gabriel Benitez is a good dog. I got Maheshate Hayasayer in this one here. I know he's coming off a 2-fight losing streak there. But I mean, I still think that he's very good. I think the youth here at 24 years old, Gabriel Benitez is getting up there in age in the lightweight division. When you start getting 35 years old in lightweight, it's not a good look. The height advantage, though, is what scares me, man. 6 foot to 5'8", man. We're talking a 5-inch height advantage. And the reach is pretty much the same. But Maheshate, I mean, this guy, he's got power. Okay, he does have some power. He could knock out Gabriel Benitez, I believe. He's much taller. He's younger. He's durable. We have seen Benitez been finished several times before in the past. He has been finished. So I'm very skeptical about how he's going to do in this one, Gabriel Benitez. So I'm going to go with Maheshate Hayasayer. I think he can get the knockout in this one. I really do think he can get the knockout. Benitez, man, the guy has been finished before. Like I mentioned, man, look at the last fight against Jim Miller. He got subbed, okay, with a face crank. That was pretty bad. And he also got knocked out by David Onama. He did beat Charlie Ontiveros by knockout, but he did get knocked out by Billy Quarantillo. He got knocked out by David Onama. Jim Miller subbed him. I just think that Maheshate can get a knockout here with the power that he has, the youth. Give me Maheshate to win by knockout. That's what I'm going to do.
One thing I'd like to add, I don't think either of these guys are going to try to get each other down, but if they happen to find themselves down there, I think Benitez is actually live for a sub here. Anyway, we disagree on this one, but it should be a great fight. I think both of these guys are going to bring it.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good fight. And like you said, if it does hit the ground, though, you're right. Benitez has a good shot there. All right, moving on up the card, we got the next fight here with Ivana Petrovic against Na Liang. Now, for this one, I'm picking Ivana Petrovic, okay? Petrovic, I think she could knock out Na Liang. Na Liang's been knocked out many times. She's been finished, man. All she has to do, Petrovic, is survive the onslaught from Na Liang. Na Liang comes out crazy. Like, she comes out trying to take you down, charging at you. She comes out pretty crazy. Now, if Petrovic can get on top of Na Liang, I think it's over. She's got good ground and pound. She can get the knockout there. On the feet, she's better. She's a better striker on the feet. She's more powerful than Na Liang. And she has a good ground game. She's got some submissions as well, Ivana Petrovic. And I think Ivana Petrovic with the height advantage too, a 3-inch height advantage there. She also has almost a 3-inch, no, a 3.3.5 reach advantage as well there. And Petrovic, again, she's better on the feet. I think that if she stays at distance, doesn't let Na Liang take her down, gets in those strikes, those punches, I think she could knock out Na Liang or win a decision just by getting more volume, more damage on Na Liang. And like I said, I can't trust Na Liang anymore, even though she's a crazy dog. I just can't trust her anymore coming off that 3-fight losing streak. I mean, she lost to JJ Aldrich, who I don't find is that great. Okay. JJ Aldrich managed to knock out Na Liang. Now, if JJ Aldrich can knock out Na Liang, I think Ivana Petrovic can knock her out. She did get knocked out also by Silvana Gomez Juarez, okay? And she got knocked out by Ariane Carnelosi. So that's 3 knockouts in a row. Since she's been in the UFC, she's lost all 3 fights, all by knockout. And I just can't trust her. I just can't trust her. I got to go with Petrovic to win by knockout or decision here.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one on the Petrovic side. I think it should be clear to anyone at this point that Na Liang, she's a kill or be killed fighter, right? And when she's fighting against the Pee-wee class, there she's going to do most of the killing. But when she gets to the UFC level, she's the one that kind of gets killed, right? She always brings it though. She's going to fight her ass off. She did get knocked out the last 3 times, like you said, but that was really also due to exhaustion, right? She really like goes until she doesn't have anything left. And I don't think she can compete with these girls that actually do make it into the UFC. Petrovic is going to be stronger, and she does have submissions, and she's probably going to even be able to turn over Na Liang if it goes down there. I predict Na Liang getting her down probably a couple times, but that's about it, right? So I predict probably a 2nd-round finish for Petrovic actually here.
All right. Nice. We are in agreement on that one. All right. Moving on up the card now. Next fight, we got James Lontop versus Chris Padilla. Who you got there, Andio?
Yeah, really, this fight took me by surprise because I had no clue Padilla was fighting line top now. So unless I give it to the cat to make a guess, I'm just gonna have to pass on this one for now because I really don't know anything.
Okay. Okay.
Do you?
Well, first of all, Chris Padilla, this guy's coming in on extremely short notice. I mean, this guy wouldn't have even had a chance to make the UFC if he didn't decide to take this fight coming in on short notice. Obviously, James Lontop was preparing to fight against Gabe Green, which was, I think, a much more difficult fight than Chris Padilla.
Yeah.
Also, James Lontop here is going to have the height advantage at 6 foot over Chris Padilla at 5'9". The reach advantage is pretty much the same. And James Lontop's from Peru with our boy Javier. I got to go with Peru, man. James Lontop, man.
I didn't even
Javier.
realize this. This is great. I think my pick has to be Lontop after hearing that, though.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
our boy Javier from Peru. I'm going to go with James Lontop. I think that he's going to get the win here. James Lontop, a very good fighter. He's got very decent striking. Again, it's just I don't see Padilla being ready for this fight. Plus, he's going to have to cut weight to make it to 155 in such a short time. So I got to go with James Lontop to get the victory here. If I think if the way he's going to win, I'm going to go and say he'll win by. I'm going to say I think he'll win by decision.
Yeah, I don't know too much about this Padilla guy, but for the Peru factor, I'm definitely gonna have to go for a Lontop. I just have to show the love. And yeah, that's it for now. But later in the week, I'll have more thoughts on this for sure. So moving up on the card here, who do you got with Marnik McMahon and Souza?
All right, I got to go with. I like me some Caitlin Souza, man. I think Caitlin Souza is a really good fighter all around. She's got good stand up. She can also handle herself on the feet. Marnik Man, she's a tiny girl at 5 foot. She really isn't that good. She does have some grappling, but Caitlin Souza could stuff the takedowns. She's also very good on the ground herself. She can hold her own on the ground. A Brazilian fighter, you know, those Brazilian girls, they're always good when the fight gets to the ground. But it's the striking where I like Caitlin Souza much more. I believe Caitlin Souza is going to be able to outstrike Marnik Man on the feet. She's also very good on the feet, Caitlin Souza, and you know she's fought the much better opponents. You know she can stop the takedowns. Mardik Man is not very good, like I said. The pick here for me has to be Caitlin Souza winning by a decision or maybe a knockout, but most likely it's going to be a decision there.
Yeah, my pick is going to be Caitlin Souza as well. Mark McMahon, she's really tough, but you know, she is tiny. I don't think she's even 5 feet tall. Uh, she's going to get hit up and lit up this fight, I believe. Caitlin Souza's weakness, I guess, if you could say, the one that sticks out the most is her takedown defense. McMahon. I keep on calling her Marnik McMahon. Yeah, for some reason. I think she's going to be able to take her down a couple of times. I think this fight is going to go to decision, but I don't think Marnik McMahon's going to be able to do too much there anyway. I don't think Souza's going to get submitted right away like she did in her last fight. That was kind of fluky-ish. And I think it's going to go to decision because of Marnik McMahon's toughness, to be honest with you. So the pick has to be Souza for me as well.
Now, Caitlin Souza did lose in her first fight against her UFC debut against Karine Silva, who we're going to talk about later. Karine Silva is a savage. I mean, anybody would lose to her.
That's what I meant, right? That the sub loss, right? It was to Karine Silva actually, so not a bad look there. But
That's right. And
yeah,
Marnik Man lost to somebody who I don't even think is in the UFC anymore, Josephine Lindgren Knudsen. She lost a unanimous decision to her, and Josephine Lindgren Knudsen is I don't even think in the UFC anymore. She was really not that great herself either, and she lost to her. So I think Caitlin Souza's got this one. Going to be the taller fighter, the stronger fighter, better on the feet. I got to go with Caitlin Souza here to get the victory, man. All right, so we're moving on up the card. Who you got next here?
yeah. So this fight here, Dontel Mays against Chao Machado. Here I pretty much promised myself a while ago I wasn't going to take Dontel Mays again. I'm going to stick to that. What do I have here on this fight? Here I have, you know, Mays hits hard. That's his quality attribute. In fact, some of the things he tries look really scary, but he never really connects on them, or at least not anymore. I think Machado is going to be better in the clinch. I think he's going to have higher output, and I think he's going to be able to stay away from Dontel Mays' power shots in there. I don't think Dontel Mays is going to go for takedowns like he yeah, I don't think he's going to really go for takedowns. I think this is going to be a sloppy-ish fight. Uh, don't get me wrong, I'm not particularly that high on Machado, but I think he's going to take it in the end, probably decision.
Yeah, same here, man. I have a very hard time going for Dontel Mays, man. I am gonna have to stick with you on this one and go for Kyle Machado. I will say though that Dontel Mays is a good dog. He has power in his hands. He has a chance to knock out Kyle Machado if he lands a good punch on him. He could get the win. Kyle Machado, though, I'm gonna say is a smarter, more technical fighter. He's got some very good leg kicks. And Kyle Machado also can grapple. If he gets on top and gets Dontel Mays down, I think that's where Dontel Mays will struggle big time. And I think Kyle Machado has a chance to take him down. It is a path to victory for him if he can get this fight to the ground. Now, Kyle Machado, he's 8-2. He did lose his UFC debut against Michael Parkin. But he did look good in the Dana White's Contender Series.
Oh, and he outstruck Parkin heavily that match also.
He did. And but Dontel Mays also lost to Rodrigo Nascimento. He did knock out Andrei Arlovsky, which is why I'm scared about the knockout for Dontel Mays. That could be something to look at. If you're prop betting, we'll talk about that in the bets video. I think Dontel Mays is a good dog there. But he did lose also to Augusto Sakai. Had that no contest against Handy Abdel Wahab. He did lose also to Cyril Gane. So, you know, Dontel Mays, I think he's a good dog, but I think Kyle Machado can get the win here. I think that if Kyle Machado gets this fight to the ground and avoids the knockout punch from Dontel Mays, I think he can get.
Yeah, he got his feet wet in his first fight, and sometimes they need that. You know, I think he's going to put it together this fight.
I think he'll have more volume. This could be a greasy fight going to decision too. I don't think there might not be a finish in this one, but I think Kyle Machado might be able to pull off a decision win with just the volume, the striking, more striking, the leg kicks, and if he can get him down on the and get on top, that'll be to his advantage there. So yeah, both agreeing on Kyle Machado. So far, we only disagreed on one fight so far in these prelims. And that was the very first fight. So looking good so far. All right, what do we got next here? We've got Austin Hubbard against Michael Figlak in this one. Now this is going to be a close fight, okay? But Hubbard has takedowns and he can strike. Michael Figlak, he's not a grappler; he's a striker. I believe that Austin Hubbard has just a bit more experience. This guy has fought in the UFC before, and then he was out of the UFC and then came back. I think that Figlak, he lost to Faraziam in his UFC debut. Again, Austin Hubbard did fight in the UFC before. As he's 16-7, Michael Figlak's 8-1, so he's green. Michael Figlak's very green. Austin Hubbard's got that experience, plus he's got the grappling over Michael Figlak. Austin Hubbard is not the greatest striker there, but he can hold his own on the feet. But obviously he's a better grappler, and I think that he'll be able to take down Michael Figlak. And with the experience, I mean, this guy has fought. He lost to Kurt Hollabaugh, who's really good and much better than Michael Figlak. But don't forget, he's fought Vince Pichel, Dakota Bush, Joe Selecki. He's fought Marco Madsden, Max Rovskop, Kal Petropolik. So he's fought a lot of guys in the UFC. So I think he can squeak out a win here. My pick is going to be Austin Hubbard.
You know, just to add to what you said, my pick is going to be Austin Hubbard as well. I'm also picking him, not only because of his experience, I'm picking him because of the latest trend where these strikers take like a couple years off and really don't get in a groove until much later into the fight, and they end up losing the fight. This happened 3 times in UFC 300. With Rakic being one of the guys that lost, you know, coming off a long layoff. If you want to look up who the other ones are, go ahead. I can't think of them off the top of my head. So I think that's going to be a part of Figlak's problem here. And yeah, I think Austin Hubbard grinds his way out to a victory because that's the way Austin Hubbard does them.
You're right. And he hasn't fought since September 3rd of 2022.
2 years, 3 years.
Figlak, man, that's a long time. You know, Austin Hubbard, at least he fought just recently in August of 2023, not too long ago, against Kurt Hollabaugh. So yeah, the time off for Michael Figlak is not looking good, and yeah, I like Austin Hubbard here. All right, now we're up to the main event of the prelims. We got Rani Yahya against Victor Henry. Not much to say in this one. Is it your turn?
Yeah, well, I'll just say this about this one here. Victor Henry should really run away with this one. He's, you know, he strikes from everywhere at whatever distance. He's not afraid to throw everything, and he usually has a lot of energy. Rani Yahya looked as washed as shit the last time he fought. He lost to what's his name there, his last fight. He looked really slow and just didn't look like a threat at all. It was against Montel Jackson. That's right. I don't know if you remember that fight. Montel Jackson can like make a lot of guys look kind of that way, but this was really noticeable. However, I will add one thing. At this value, I wouldn't touch betting on Henry here. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Plus, he's dangerous, and he's dangerous on the ground, right? So maybe a sprinkle on something else for
Yeah. Rani Yaya
Yaya.
could be a good dog there, but yeah, I gotta go with Victor Henry. I just think that he's just gonna, I mean, come on, it's Rani Yaya getting up there in age at almost 40 years old. I mean, Victor Henry is not a young guy himself at 36, but still, much younger. And also, Victor Henry is just, just way better striker than Rani Yahya. Rani Yahya has no striking at all. His punches do not hurt. He's got no power. He's just more of a grappler. Rani Yahya's got good submissions. He's good on the ground. But Victor Henry has been very good at stopping the takedowns. And again, like you said, against Montel Jackson, he got knocked out in the first round pretty badly there.
He's so hot and cold though himself, Henry, it's weird.
Exactly, and I just think Victor Henry is just a better fighter overall, especially on the feet. And if it wasn't for that accidental groin kick there from Javid Basharat, he was actually looking okay in that fight. And
That was brutal.
Nailed him in the balls there. That was pretty bad. But don't forget, Victor Henry did beat Tony Gravely, who's also really, really, really good. And I think Tony Gravely could definitely stand a chance against Rani Yaya. He also beat Raoni Barcelos, who's also a really great fighter. So Victor Henry is the pick for me. I think he'll win this one by decision. I think Rani Yaya is pretty durable there. Victor Henry does have a lot of his fights win by decision. He's got 9 decision wins, 6 knockouts, 8 subs. So I think that if he does win Victor Henry, it'll be by decision. Maybe he could get a finish if he knocks out Rani Yaya, catches him clean there. But Rani Yaya is a good dog, and he's something to look out for if you're looking to put a betting prop here on Rani Yaya. He is a good dog, but the pick is Victor Henry to win by KO or decision here. So this does it.
Last fight, eh?
This does it for the prelims. It looks like me and you, we agree on every single fight except the first one. This is going to be a really good event. I think even though it doesn't look good, but I think it should end up being a pretty decent event. So yeah, like and subscribe, guys. We are going to put out our next video to talk about the main card.
I'd like to welcome y'all to the show. Welcome.
All right, peace out, folks. Like and subscribe. KAMMA. See you in the next video.